how to respond to it. We didn't question ourselves if they're going to go on runs. We know they're going to go on runs. Very good teams are going to go on runs, like I said. And it's just when they go on runs, just how to respond to it. We can't let it phase us. We can't let it deter us from what we want to do on offense or even on defense. I think we just got to kind of slow ourselves down, become composed, and just trying to go out there and respond to it.
How do you guys build off of this? I know it's a loss, and it's not the way you want to build, but there are plenty of positives to take. There were mistakes identifiable that you guys can clean up before you go into the next week.
Yeah, for sure. This is something that we just prove to ourselves every day, that we're capable of doing it. I know for the past, in the regular season, we haven't showed it yet, but we know that we're capable of doing it to compete with anybody in the country, really. And that's all we got to do is continue to play with effort, continue to play with energy, and just stay together.
How much do you feel like you guys kind of proved that you can play against some of these more physical teams after having some tougher efforts in previous games?
I'm sure we just kind of just build on it. We learn from our mistakes. We learn, how teams are played and what to expect now. Just knowing that's going to be very difficult to challenge 7-footers at the rim, being able to get open shots. Playing a very disciplined team, very well coached team, and it's just how to respond to that because I believe we're very talented. We're very well coached as well. As long as we continue to stay focused, pay attention to the little details, be disciplined, and play together, then I think we can make a run.
And you had a lot of success early on in the game, especially going at ground low. Was that kind of in the game plan to attack him early on and try to, get them to other bigs in this game too?
Yeah, they're, hit and 33, they're their primary, defensive threats, just shot blockers. So just being able to try to get them in foul troubles, however we can, we want to make sure that we be smart about it and attacking them because, they're very disciplined. We don't want to, put ourselves in a situation where, we kind of trap ourselves and they block a shot and go down the other end and score. But for me, I know that I was capable of being stronger than them and trying to get them in foul trouble as best as way we can.
I was going to say, it just feels like this team has gotten more into its roles with the last two games in particular. How much do you guys feel like everyone knows their roles now going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's critical because it just shows that everybody's bought in. Everybody's willing to sacrifice and accept, their roles. We know we're capable of doing so much more, but it's what's willing that we need for the team. For everyone to be bought in, just sticking to their roles and maximizing it, and it just really helps us out. And it's something that we can do with the tournament as well. We have, no doubt of how we can play, how hard we can play, who we're willing to face. Because as long as we continue to play together, play to our strengths, that will be more defined.
I was going to say, obviously you played in the NCAA tournament. I know a lot of guys in this room have, but how important was this for the younger guys to kind of get that feel of what it's like to play in a big conference tournament before you get to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it's important because obviously for me, I wasn't able to get that experience until I got there last year. Just being able to experience and witness the field, the energy, the environment, the tensions in the game, just knowing how critical all the little details are, what coaches kind of preach to us every single day, being disciplined, showing so much effort, diving after these balls, and just playing hard on both ends of the floor. All those little things just kind of matters, and that's what it shows on NCAA tournament because everybody's playing for something. It's now like who wants it more, and every team that wants it, they're willing to come out on top. So we got to be willing to show that and, show that to the young guys how important these games are.
What do you feel like this team needs to do to down the stretch to finish some of these games out? Because there have been a lot of tight games where you guys have had opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's being a little bit more disciplined and pay attention to the details. I think sometimes when it's like a heat of the moment, we kind of lose track because the noise, the tension, the pressure is on us. Sometimes we're in our heads. Let's not make a mistake. And sometimes just lose focus on what's going on in the game. As long as we continue to do that, be better, and just staying present and being fully locked in, then I believe that we'll be fine. And I know that we're capable of doing that. And that's what we showed.
Yeah, I appreciate that.